Gentlemen, let me ask you something honestly. Do you really believe that at your age, women only want men with big bank accounts, expensive cars, or thick dark hair? If you do, let me stop you right there. That is a lie society has been feeding men for decades. Here's the truth. There's Merishwar Indar is say Samai something far more powerful than money or looks, something many men over 60 already possess but have never learned how to use. When you unlock it, women, even younger women, maybe now begin to notice you in a completely different way. And no, it does not require surgery, a sports car, or some miracle pill. It takes just 12 minutes a day. Stay with me because I'm about to share the exact practice that can help you build the kind of presence that draws women in, while other men your age keep wasting energy competing in ways that never truly work. But first, if you're ready to reclaim your confidence and attract women without gimmicks, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing men from all over the world tuning in. And make sure to subscribe because every week I share science-backed insights most people never talk about when it comes to attraction, vitality, energy, and charisma after 60. Now let's bust one of the biggest myths out there. Society says that once you're over 60, you become invisible to women. Unless you have a Ferrari, a private yacht, or the lifestyle of a retired movie star, you're overlooked, right? Wrong, completely wrong. I've worked with men in their 60s and 70s who have had women 20 or even 30 years younger pursue them, not because of their money, not because of Botox, but because of one powerful factor: psychological attraction. You see, women are not starving for more young, pretty boys. What many of them are truly drawn to is maturity, they are exhausted by men of any age who are insecure, needy, or constantly trying to prove themselves. The truth is, you already have an advantage. You simply haven't been taught how to use it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Jocelyn Carter, and I've spent years specializing in men's health and relationships, helping men reclaim not only their vitality, but also their confidence in the dating world. And here is one of the boldest things I will tell you. Men over 60 are sitting on a untapped gold mine of attraction power. Younger men often cannot compete with it. Why? Because they are still building their lives, still chasing validation, still trying to prove themselves. But you have already lived, learned, built, and survived. That is your advantage. So what is the secret that changes everything? It is something called outcome independence. When you master it, you become far more attractive than most men realize. Let's break it down through the 3 biggest mistakes men over 60 make and the habits that can replace them. The first mistake is chasing instead of attracting. Too many men still behave as if dating is a performance. They try to impress women, prove they are still desirable, or worse, use money as bait. But this backfires. Women sense desperation immediately. Emotionally, it feels needy. Practically, it puts them in the power position while you waste time, money, and energy trying to prove something you never needed to prove in the first place. The solution is to cultivate outcome independence. Instead of chasing, learn to radiate contentment. That shift creates a powerful psychological effect. Rather than pursuing her, you become someone she naturally wants to move closer to. In a moment, I'll show you a simple 12-minute daily practice that helps train your mind to do exactly that. The second mistake is tying your worth to female approval. The moment you look to a woman for validation, asking yourself, am I still attractive? Do I still have it? You weaken your presence. Biologically, your stress rises. Emotionally, your natural magnetism disappears because you stop being authentic and start performing. Practically, you become tense, cautious, and overly careful, and she feels it. The fix is to detach your self-worth from her reaction. Value your wisdom, your experience, and your independence. When you do that, women sense a man who does not need them to feel complete, but who chooses them from a place of strength. That is deeply attractive. The third mistake is competing where you cannot win. Too many men in their 60s try to play a young man's game. They dye their hair, buy flashy accessories, or train obsessively to look 35 again. But let's be honest, you are not 35, and that's not a flaw. In many ways, it's an advantage. Women are not wired to be endlessly impressed by boyish energy alone. Many are drawn to stability, groundedness, confidence, and emotional steadiness. Instead of wasting money and effort trying to look younger, focus on embodying quiet confidence. That is real masculine power. That is the kind of energy many women are naturally drawn to. So, how do you actually build outcome independence into your daily life? I teach my clients something I call the indifference activation protocol. It takes just 12 minutes a day and consists of 3 simple steps. Step 1, 3 minutes of contentment rehearsal. Sit quietly and imagine your life exactly as it is. No woman, no approval, no external validation. Then allow yourself to feel satisfied anyway. Feel complete as you are. This trains your brain to stop broadcasting neediness. Step 2, 4 minutes of agenda-free visualization. Picture yourself having a conversation with an attractive woman, but without trying to get anything from it. No phone number, no kiss, no date, just enjoying the moment. This rewires your brain to be present instead of strategic. Step 3, 5 minutes of self-appreciation. Reflect on your accomplishments, your resilience, and your wisdom, not to brag and not to compare yourself with others, but to genuinely recognize your own value. This strengthens self-worth from the inside out, and here's the paradox. The less desperate you are to attract women, the more attractive you often become. Take Frank, one of my clients from New Jersey. He was 68. One day, instead of trying to impress a woman at his local coffee shop, he simply sat there enjoying his book, fully content in himself. Within minutes, a 52-year-old woman started a conversation with him. They've now been together for 2 years. Why? Because his energy said, I am already whole. I don't need you, but I would enjoy getting to know you. That is the kind of presence most men never learn to develop. Now, let's be clear. This is not about being cold, aloof, or manipulative. It is about freeing yourself from desperation. Women can sense desperation from a mile away, but they are powerfully drawn to calm confidence. And the beautiful part is this: you do not need to fake that confidence. You already have the raw material for it, decades of experience, wisdom, hardship, and growth. What makes you magnetic is not youth, it is depth. So gentlemen, here's the truth. You are not too old, you are not invisible, you are not past your prime. In many ways, you are standing at one of the most powerful stages of your life. You can attract women in a way younger men often cannot, through presence, self-assurance, and emotional steadiness. All it takes is a mindset shift and 12 minutes a day. Start Kitty Asai outcome independence, and watch how people begin responding to you differently. More curious, more open, more engaged. And remember this, you do not need to become someone else. You only need to unlock the man you already are. If this message resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a brother or friend who needs to hear it. And in the comments, let me know. What is the biggest challenge you're facing in dating after 60? I read every single one. Gentlemen, life is not about fading into the background. It's about walking into the room with quiet confidence, knowing you have nothing to prove and everything to enjoy. Stay strong, stay magnetic. Now let's go even deeper, because what I'm about to share next can completely change the way you see yourself as a man after 60, and the way women see you too. Attraction at your age is not about competing. It is about commanding energy, and that energy comes from within. When you walk into a room, women are not just noticing your wrinkles, your hairline, or your wallet. They are noticing your energy. They sense whether you are comfortable in your own skin or still seeking approval. And that difference determines whether they feel drawn to you or disconnected from you. Think about it. Women are highly sensitive to emotional cues. They notice the tone of your voice, the calmness in your eyes, the pace of your movements, and the energy you bring into a conversation. When you are outcome independent, your body language softens, your breathing steadies, your voice deepens, and your presence becomes more grounded. That calm certainty creates both safety and curiosity, because very few men radiate it. Most men either overcompensate or withdraw. But you can become the rare kind of man who neither chases nor hides. He simply is. And that is where true magnetism begins. Now let's talk about something many men never fully understand: emotional polarity. Attraction is not purely physical. It is an exchange of emotional energy. When a man over 60 embodies calm, grounded confidence, it often allows a woman to relax into her own feminine energy. She feels safer, more expressive, more playful, and more open. When she senses that she is not being judged, rushed, or pressured, connection forms naturally. The problem is that too many men rush that moment. They want immediate results. They try to force chemistry, but chemistry cannot be forced. It must be felt. And it usually appears when you stop trying to manufacture it and start allowing it. Here is another truth worth understanding. Women do not fall for men who try to fix them. They are far more likely to trust and open up to men who make them feel understood. You have decades of emotional experience. Use it. When a woman shares her fears, frustrations, or uncertainty, do not rush to solve her problems. Often what matters most is that you can listen calmly, without interrupting, without trying to control the moment, and without making it about yourself. That creates emotional safety. And emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. And let me tell you something else. Your past, your scars, and your life lessons are not liabilities. They are assets. Every mistake you've made, every heartbreak you've endured, every challenge you've overcome has shaped a depth that many younger men simply do not have. Women are often drawn to depth because it signals substance, maturity, and realness. You do not need to pretend you are untouched by time. You just need to own your story with quiet pride. Here's another simple exercise to strengthen your masculine presence. Each morning before you reach for your phone, pause and take a few deep breaths, then remind yourself, I am enough as I am. That affirmation, repeated daily, begins to rewire your nervous system. Over time, it teaches your subconscious that you are not lacking, that you do not need to chase approval, and that your worth is already intact. When you live from that inner certainty, women perceive you differently. In fact, everyone does. Friends respect you more. Strangers respond to you differently. Your words carry more weight. You walk taller, not because you are trying to impress anyone, but because you are no longer burdened by the need to. This freedom is one of the most attractive forces a man can ever develop. And remember, this attraction is not mainly about looks, it is about presence. A man with presence can walk into a room and command attention without saying much at all. Not because he is flashy, but because he is centered. His stillness speaks louder than another man's performance. His calm carries more authority than another man's noise. Presence is a form of masculine power that does not fade with age. It deepens through experience and self-control. Let me give you another example. One of my clients, Peter, was 72. He had not dated in more than 10 years because he believed women only wanted younger men. After practicing the 12-minute protocol consistently, he noticed something shift. Women began smiling at him in the grocery store. Conversations started happening naturally. He was no longer trying to impress anyone. He was simply living with peace and quiet joy. Then one day he met a 55-year-old woman at a bookstore. They connected immediately, not because he used a clever line, but because his energy said, I am content with my life. Come share it with me, not complete it. That is what women feel, even when no words are spoken. So understand this, gentlemen. Attraction after 60 is not about fighting age. It is about mastering presence. The world tells you that youth is power, but that is only part of the story. Youth may have energy, but age has gravity, the kind of gravity that draws people in without effort. It is not about being the loudest, richest, or most flashy man in the room. It is about being the calmest and most certain. So every time you catch yourself comparing yourself to younger men, stop. Remind yourself that they are still learning lessons life has already taught you. Life has trained you to be patient, wise, resilient, and emotionally grounded. Those qualities are deeply powerful. And here is one final truth: women may not remember every word you say, but they will remember how they felt in your presence. If your energy makes her feel safe, seen, and free to be herself, she will not forget you. That is the secret of lasting attraction. It is not built through performance. It is built through calm. So tomorrow morning, start your day with intention. Practice your breathing. Practice your presence. Practice gratitude. Remember who you are. You do not need to perform. You only need to be. And when you live from that place of quiet confidence, women will notice without you having to force a thing. Stay tuned because in the next part, I'm going to reveal the advanced level of outcome independence, how to use emotional contrast to create deeper attraction without manipulation or games. This is where true psychological attraction begins and where men over 60 become unforgettable.